Hello and warm regards from NEXT IAS team. Welcome to another episode of Daily News Analysis. Today is 23rd August. Let's see the discussions that we are going to take up today. The first one is SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The second topic is about the Great Nicobar Project. Third topic is about the Lunar Module Launch Vehicle. Then fourth topic is Salwa Judum. And lastly, in the decoded section, we are going to discuss about the AI for small businesses and workers. So let's start with the first topic. The first topic that we are having today is Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Now, why it is in news? It is in news because China is going to host the SCO summit in Tianjin on August 31st to September 1, and our Prime Minister is going to participate in that because India is also a member of SCO. Now, this topic is relevant from GS paper 2 in the international relations. Now, what is the news here? The news is that the SCO summit will be chaired by Chinese President Xi Jinping and will bring together over 20 world leaders, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, then Russian President Vladimir Putin, and UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. The summit will be held amid global trade uncertainties caused by US tariffs. Also, the objective will be to promote stability, peace, harmony, and friendship in the region while addressing the international challenges. So what are the international challenges that we are facing? First one is US tariff. Then we are having the challenges of Israel-Gaza war, Russia-Ukraine war, and other stability-related issues. For example, terrorism is there. So these are the challenges that this summit is going to talk about. Now, next thing is about the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. What is it? This SCO is a Eurasian political, economic, and security organization of 10 member states. It was formed in 2001 or established in 2001. And the founding members were China, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. So basically, China plus Russia plus the Central Asian countries. Now, after that, India and Pakistan joined in 2017. So since 2017, India is a member of this SCO. The next is Iran. It joined in 2023. Then Belarus. It joined in 2024. So you see, almost all countries of Asia, the major countries of Asia are member of this SCO. We can leave aside the West Asia, but mostly the Central Asia and the South Asian countries are member of SCO along with Russia. There are several other countries which participate as observer or dialogue partners. Now, this SCO initially was known as Shanghai 5, and it was formed in 1996 for political and economic cooperation. After that, in 2001, it was established as Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Now, the significance of this SCO is that it covers approximately 24% of the world's land area, 42% of the global population. So, almost half population is being covered by SCO. So, whatever this SCO talks about, whatever this SCO thinks about, it is basically representing the voice of 42% of the global population. Next thing is the combined nominal GDP of the SCO is 23% of world's total. So 1/3, or you can say 1/4 of the GDP is contributed by SCO itself, these 10 countries itself. Now, next thing is the goals of SCO. Why SCO was established? What are the goals of SCO? The goal of SCO, first one, is to strengthen the mutual trust, friendship, and good neighborness among the member states. It will promote cooperation in areas such as politics, trade, economy, culture, education, and energy. It will jointly ensure peace, security, and regional stability. There is a Shanghai spirit that is known for the mutual trust, mutual benefit, equality, consultation, respect for the diversity of civilization, and pursuit of common development. The organizational structure involves Council of Head of the States. This is a supreme decision-making body of SCO. It meets once a year. For example, this year it is meeting in China from August 31st to September 1. That is for 2 days. It will decide upon all the matter issues of the organization. Now, the second body is Regional Anti-Terrorist Structure, that is RATS. That is very, very important, especially in context of India. It is a permanent body of SCO focused on combating terrorism, separatism, and extremism among the member states. So basically, the Pahalgam attack that has happened, the terrorist attack that has happened in India, that will also be raised in SCO, and China and Pakistan may be in a difficult position. Along with China also has to tackle it, because in a way China supports Pakistan, and this is a genuine issue of India, and in which Russia will be supportive of India. So let's see what unfolds there, but situation will be tricky for China as well as for Pakistan. The headquarters is in Tashkent in Uzbekistan. Now, Council of Ministers of the Foreign Affairs, this is also another body. Now, this body focuses on the day-to-day activities of the organization, prepares the meetings of the heads of the State Council, and conducts the consultation on international issues. So, for day-to-day works, this Council of Foreign Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the Council of Head of the State is the supreme decision-making body. The next is other mechanisms. The other mechanisms include meetings for the national defense, meetings for security, economy, trade, culture, health, education, transport, science and technology. So whatever the areas they need to collaborate, there are mechanisms for meeting on these areas as well. Now next is attempt this MCQ and put your answers in the comment box. And let's move to the second topic. The second topic is about the Great Nicobar Project. So why it is in news? It is in news because there are allegations of FRA violation. What are FRA? Forest Right Acts violation in the Great Nicobar Infrastructure Project. This topic becomes relevant from GS3 economy. Also, you can relate it in the society topic of GS1. Also, it can be part of governance in GS2 paper. Now, let's see about the project. Let's see about this news. According to the Tribal Council of Little and Great Nicobar, in a complaint to the Minister of Tribal Affairs, Andaman and Nicobar administration has falsely told the centre that tribal rights under FRA 2006 were settled, which led to forest clearance for 72,000 crore Great Nicobar Infrastructure Project. So, in a way, this is a very major project that the government of India is pursuing, and there are allegations from the tribal bodies that there has been violation of the FRA or Forest Right Acts of 2006. The local tribal people have raised several concerns, including diversion of nearly 13,075 hectares of forest land for the project and its impact on the vulnerable groups. Because in this Andaman and Nicobar, we have the aboriginal groups, we have the tribal groups which are not very much advanced, which are very much primitive ones. So, this diversion of land from the forest area to the infrastructure project is going to affect them. Let's see what is the major issue all about. Now, the government is saying that the tribal areas of Andaman and Nicobar are governed by the Protection of Aboriginals Tribals Act of 1956. So, this clearance has been given under this act. This act is popularly known as PAT 56. So, the argument by the Andaman and Nicobar administration is that this particular clearance has been given under the Protection of Aboriginals Tribals Act of 1956 and nothing has been considered under FRA Act of 2006. So, one major point comes out from here is that there is an issue between which act will be implemented. Will it be FRA or will it be PAT 56? So, let's see what are the provisions of PAT 56. The purpose of the PAT 56 or Protection of the Aboriginals Tribals Act of 1956 was to protect the indigenous tribes of Andaman and Nicobar Island from outside interference and exploitation. So, there is a particular act that has been made for Andaman and Nicobar tribes so that their culture as well as their practices can be preserved. So, what were the provisions there? The provisions include, first of all, tribal reserves, area inhabited by the Aboriginal tribes declared as reserved for exclusively tribal use. This is the first provision. Second, restriction on the entry. Non-tribals can enter only with administration issued passes. Third is land transfer restrictions. The tribals' land cannot be sold or transferred to non-tribals without chief commissioner's approval. Civil courts cannot attach tribal land. So that is the third one. Then business restrictions. Non-tribals cannot carry out trade or acquire land or products in reserved areas without a license. Now, how it is conflicting with FRA Act of 2006? The administration sometimes cites PAT 56 to justify non-implementation of Forest Rights Acts, creating tension over tribal land rights during large-scale projects. So, to transfer a land, the Chief Commissioner's approval is required. That is not in FRA. So, PAT is being used to transfer the land from the tribe's area to the infrastructure project. So, that is the main issue that is being countered here. Now, what is this Great Nicobar project? It includes a project of total 72,000 crore and has been approved by Andaman and Nicobar Integrated Development Corporation, that is NEDCO. The key components will be International Container Transshipment Terminal, then Greenfield International Airport, 2 greenfield cities will be created here. Greenfield means that new cities will be created from the scratch. Brownfield means that already there is something and we are again renovating and building upon that. For example, there are greenfield projects and there are brownfield projects. So greenfield projects means that there is nothing there. For example, there might be a greenfield road project. So it will be meaning that there is no kind of road there and a new road is being built from scratch. A brownfield project means that already there is a road and it is being reconstructed and it is being widened. So that is the difference between a greenfield and a brownfield project. The next will be coastal mass rapid transport system, free trade zones, international cruise terminals and ship breaking yard will also be covered under this project of Great Nicobar Project. Now next is the Great Nicobar Islands, the geographical location. It is the southernmost. The southernmost are known as Nicobar Islands. So the Andaman and Nicobar is divided into two parts. The upper part is Andaman and the lower part is Nicobar Island. The Andaman and Nicobar Island are divided by the 10-degree channel. So there is a 10-degree channel that divides the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The Andaman Islands are basically 4 groups of islands: North Andaman, Middle Andaman, then Lower Andaman, and there is Little Andaman. Then the Lower Andaman, the Nicobar Island includes Car Nicobar and there is Great Nicobar. There is also one Little Nicobar. The India's southernmost point, that is Indira Point, is located on the Great Nicobar Island. Now Indira Point lies on the southernmost tip of the Great Nicobar Island. The Nicobar Islands are separated from Andaman Island by the 10-degree channel. Now, what are the ecological characteristics? The terrain, tropical wet evergreen forest, because this area falls in the tropical zone, in the equatorial zone, sorry. So there is tropical wet evergreen forest. Mountain ranges like Mount Thilier is present here. There are coastal plains also. Then flora includes tree ferns, orchids, gymnosperms, bryophytes and lichens. Fauna includes dugong, crab-eating macaw, Nicobar tree shrew, Nicobar megapode, serpent eagle, saltwater crocodiles, marine turtles. Then protected areas include Campbell Bay, Galathea National Park, part of Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserves that are UNESCO Man and Biosphere Program of 2013. Then flagship species are leatherback sea turtle. This is important. The tribal characteristics, the tribes like Shompan, Nicobaris are present here. Then why it is important? It is strategically important because its proximity to the Malacca Strait. The Malacca Strait, the major trade routes pass through this Malacca Strait. So it is strategically located near to the Malacca Strait. So the key maritime routes linking Indian Ocean and Pacific Ocean, it gives proximity to India. Second, its nearby international locations include Sabang, Coco Island and Kara Canal. This Coco Island is part of Myanmar and Andaman and Nicobar are separated by Coco Island by Coco Channel. The Kara Canal is here. It is in Thailand, which actually connects the Bay of Bengal with the Pacific Ocean. Then maritime security, Andaman and Nicobar serves as the first line of defense against potential Chinese naval build-up in eastern Indo-Pacific choke points. International maritime zones share boundaries with Myanmar, Thailand, Indonesia, Bangladesh, provide India significant ocean space under UNCLOS for EEZ and continental shelf. So this is the strategic importance of these Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Now, based upon the discussion, attempt this MCQ and post your answers in the comment box. The third topic is the Lunar Module Launch Vehicle, LMLV. Today is the National Space Day. And in this context, ISRO has revealed what is going to do in the future. So the context here is, for the lunar missions, ISRO is building its heaviest rocket ever. This topic is relevant from GS3 Science and Technology. Now, about the news, ISRO is preparing its heaviest ever rocket known as Lunar Module Launch Vehicle for future lunar missions and India's first human mission to moon by 2040. So this is important. So India is planning that after 15 years, we are going to land on moon and we are going to have an Indian on the moon. That will be the India's first human mission to the moon. It marks a major leap in India's deep space and human spacecraft capabilities. So that is the significance here. What is this Lunar Module Launch Vehicle? It is a new rocket that will be developed and it will be tall as 40-story building, dropping LMV-3, which is the current and most powerful rocket. So currently the LMV-3 is the most powerful rocket. Now we are developing a new rocket, that is Lunar Module Launch Vehicle LMLV, that will be 40-story high, and it will be much bigger than the current heaviest rocket that we are having. The payload capacity, the LMLV rocket will be capable to carry 27 tons to moon and 80 tons to the low Earth orbit. It is a 3-stage rocket. The first 2 stages will use liquid propellant. The first stage includes 27 engines, 3 sets of 9, and the third stage will use cryogenic propellant. So this LMLV will be having the third stage cryogenic engine. The LMLV would be ready by 2035 and would be used for lunar missions, including the first human mission to moon planned by 2040. So by 2035 we are going to develop it, and by 2040 we are going to have the first manned mission to the moon. Next is, if you compare it with other rockets, for example, currently we are having LMV-3, that is Lunar Vehicle Mark 3. This is the biggest and the most powerful rocket that India is having currently, or ISRO is having currently. It is also known as GSLV Mark 3, and popularly it is known as Bahubali rocket or Fat Boy. Now, it is the India's heaviest and most powerful operation rocket until LMLV is being built. So we are building a rocket better than this LMV-3. It is first ISRO rocket with an indigenously developed cryogenic engine C25 for the upper stage. It is again a 3-stage rocket, 2 solid boosters, 1 liquid cool stage, 1 cryogenic upper stage. So this LMV is also a cryogenic engine at the 3rd stage. Its total thrust is 11,200 kilonewtons. The height is 43.5 meters, and it is designed by the heavy communication satellite and interplanetary missions. The payload capacity is, to low Earth orbit, it can carry 8 tons. If we talk about LMLV, it will be able to carry 80 tons. So see, 10 times more payload it can carry. In the geosynchronous transfer orbit, it can carry a load up to 4 tons. Now, it is the heaviest payload that has been carried by it is 5.8 ton to low Earth orbit. Now, it is being upgraded as LOX kerosene engine, which can carry 10 times sufficient for space station module. So, it will be able to carry 10 times more load as which will be required for our space station module. Now, we are also developing one space station module that we are going to discuss later in the video. The major use will be, it has been majorly used with Chandrayaan 2 in 2019, then Chandrayaan 3 in 2023, and it is also used for launching GSAT series of satellites that are basically used for communication. Human related missions like Gaganyaan mission, that will be India's first human space flight, not human lunar mission, will be the human space flight. For that also we are using LMV-3. The future role will be, it will be modified version will be used for the assembling the Bharatiya Antariksh Station by 2035. So this LOX kerosene engine will be used for the assembly of this Bharatiya Antariksh Station BAS by 2035. The next generation launch vehicle was also being developed by India. It was as planned as a heavy lift launch vehicle. Now it has been replaced by the LOX kerosene engine of this LMV-3. Originally, it was meant to carry the modules for India's space station Bharatiya Antariksh Station BAS and support deep space exploration. Now, its design was that it could be reused. It was based on the reusable design concept to reduce the launch cost. It was again a 3-stage rocket. First 2 stages will have liquid and kerosene engine, and the upper stage is going to have the cryogenic hydrogen and oxygen engines. The payload capacity was 30 tons to low Earth orbit, 10 tons to geosynchronous transfer orbit. So the capacity was more. Now we have actually developed our LOX kerosene engine that will be a development over this LMV-3. So that's why we have dropped this NGV from the plan. Now the current status is that NGLV will not be required for BAS, as modified LMV with LOX kerosene engine can handle it. The LMV Lunar Module Launch Vehicle under development is considered an improved version of NGLV and will be have much greater capacity, that is 80 tons to low Earth orbit and 27 tons to moon. Then what is ISRO's roadmap for 2040 to 2047? Over 100 satellite missions in next 15 years have been planned. Then Mars lander mission has also been planned. We have already landed on Moon. We have a Mars orbital mission. Now we are planning for a Mars lander mission. 80 plus Earth observation satellites, mostly for land-based application and other for ocean and atmosphere, will also be launched. 16 technology demonstration missions plus communication and navigation satellites will be launched. One more mission is there known as Gaganyaan mission, that is low Earth orbit. Its objective is to demonstrate India's capability to send humans into space and bring them back safely. So basically it is sending humans and bringing them back. So human mission to space is the Gaganyaan mission that you should be knowing. It is planned for 2027 and the mission profile will be there will be a 3-member Indian crew in a low Earth orbit, and they will stay in the space for 3 days. Then after that they will be brought back. Then Chandrayaan mission is also there. Chandrayaan 4 mission 2027 has been planned. It will be India's first lunar sample return mission, bringing soil rock back to Earth. Then Chandrayaan 5 mission has also been planned, and it has been planned jointly with Japan JAXA, that is the space agency of Japan, and it is again another sample return from the lunar south pole. Then Chandrayaan 6 mission has also been revealed by ISRO yesterday. It is advanced lunar mission. They may test resource extraction issue like oxygen, water from the lunar soil. Then Chandrayaan 7 likely focus on lunar infrastructure tech like power, habitat, mobility. Chandrayaan 8 precursor to human mission, testing docking, heavy payload delivery and long duration systems. So these are the Chandrayaan missions that have been planned for the future. Next is Bharatiya Antariksh Station. So like the ISS, the US space station that is orbiting the Earth, we are also planning our own indigenous space station in the space. So India aims to establish the Bharatiya Antariksh Space Station by 2035 with a 5-module design. The first module BAS-1 will be launched by 2028 to support future crewed missions. The timeline is for the first BAS-01, it will be launched by 2028 and expansion to 5 modules by 2035. BAS-101 features it will weigh 10 tons and will orbit at 450 kilometers altitude. The capabilities will be microgravity research, tech demonstrations, scientific imaging, propellant fluid refilling will be there, radiation and thermal protection, MMOD shielding will also be provided. It will support extravehicular activities with suits and airlocks. Plug and play avionics for flexible upgrades is also provided in this BAS-1. Then scientific role, it will be a platform for space science, life sciences, medicine, interplanetary exploration. It will study microgravity effect on human health, then test for long duration human spacecraft technologies. Then next is significance. India to join the elite group of nations with orbital stations, only ISS and China's Tiangong. So there is only IS and there is China's Tiangong. India will be joining this elite club in the space tech. Then ISRO is also promoting the private sector to get into the space technology or space sector. Now the private sector is what ISRO is doing. ISRO is banking on 350 plus private space companies for innovation and hardware. It is pushing for indigenization of crucial components like atomic clocks and navigation system. Private firms are essential to meet the 2047 roadmap. So for India, the participation of private sector is very, very important. Next is National Space Day. It is celebrated on 23rd August every year. And why it is celebrated? Because on the same day, we marked the success of Chandrayaan 3 mission in 2023. India became the 4th nation to land on Moon and 1st nation to land on southern polar region of Moon. The purpose was to showcase India's space exploration capabilities, inspire youth to join the STEM career, and to encourage participation of India's future space mission. So that was the objective of that. Now based upon this, attempt this MCQ and put your answers in the comment box. The 4th topic is Salwa Judum. What is this? Now the backdrop here is that weakening of the Naxal movement in recent years. So the Salwa Judum is related with the Naxalism, the fight against Naxalism. Now this topic is important from GS paper 3 in the internal security topic. Now what is the news? The news is that the Union Home Minister Amit Shah has accused the opposition's Vice President candidate Justice B. Sudarshan Reddy for supporting Naxalism, claiming that if he had not delivered the Salwa Judum judgment, the extremist left movement in India would have ended before 2020. So there is a political accusation that has been made. Now let's see about the Salwa Judum, because our basic focus is what this particular activity was and what has been the judicial announcement regarding it. Now, Salwa Judum was a practice in which a group of tribal individuals were mobilized to combat Naxals or mass insurgency in Chhattisgarh in 2005. So basically what was happening that the tribal youth was being trained and was being given arms or was provided arms so that they can fight the Naxals. Because the problem was that the Naxals were attacking the villages, they were forcing the people to join their army. So that's why the people were being trained so that they can also fight. Also, as the police capabilities are not very well developed in the tribal areas, that's why the police was also under threat. The police stations were being attacked. We have seen many Naxal attacks in which many central police forces people as well as the police forces people have been martyred. They have died. Now, to combat this, the villages were themselves trained so that they can also fight and they can also support police in their actions. So that's why the tribal youth was being trained, was being armed to fight against the Naxal. That particular practice was known as Salwa Judum. These tribal youth who were being trained, they were designated as the special police officers or SPOs. And many a times, many politicians, many chief ministers have highlighted that SPOs have played a major role in fighting or curbing the Naxalism in Chhattisgarh particularly. The objective was to counter Naxal or mass insurgents in the affected areas, reduce Naxal influence by arming the local tribal communities to fight the insurgents and to protect villages from attacks and assist police operations in the Naxal affected areas. The controversy was that it seemed or it was said that there is human right violations in it. There is forced displacement in it and targeting innocent tribals was also there. So it was said that the people are being trained against their will. They are being recruited by the police against their will. They are being forcefully recruited and there are problems of displacement also. So it is actually violating the human rights. In this context, a case was registered known as Nandini Sudhakar versus State of Chhattisgarh 2011. The ruling is that the Supreme Court struck down this Salwa Judum and said it is unconstitutional. It said that the tribal youth cannot be used as an armed militia, that is special police officers, for counterinsurgency. This is against fundamental rights, it violates the fundamental rights and it is against the rule of law. You cannot provide arms to the citizen, you cannot arm the citizens. The state cannot deputize civilians to carry out police or military functions. It criticized the human rights violations, the forced displacement and violence against the innocent. Because sometimes the youth were using these arms to settle the scores with their neighbors, to settle the scores with their companions or within the local area. So that's why human violation cases were also increasing. The significance was that it ended the government-supported armed civilian vigilante groups in Naxal affected areas, and it emphasized legal and ethical limits in fighting the insurgency. The ethical limit is that it is the job of the government, it is the job of the security forces to ensure a peaceful region, to ensure that there is law and order in the whole country. So you cannot arm the civilians, you cannot say that civilians have to guard themselves. It is the duty of the police force, they have to perform their duty. Now, next is the operations that are being conducted to curb the Naxalism. The first one is Operation Green Hunt that was conducted in Chhattisgarh and neighboring states. Then Operation Black Thunder, Abu Jarmah operation in Chhattisgarh, Bijapur and Sukma operation, then Mani Chowk operation that was conducted nationwide. So all these operations are related with Naxalism. You can quote these operations in your answers if any question comes based upon insurgency. Now, next and last about is the Naxal Mukt Bharat Abhiyan that is India is conducting. So the Naxal Mukt Bharat Abhiyan has an objective from red zones to the growth corridors. The police stations that were affected by Naxalism were 330 in 2014. Now it has come down to 104 in 2024. Naxal affected areas have shrunk from 18,000 square kilometers to 4,200 square kilometers. Violence incidents have also reduced within the 10 years. 2024 to 2014, 2004 to 2014, there were 16,463 incidents of Naxalism. Now, in the next decade, 2014 to 2024, it has declined to 7,744 incidents. That is 53% reduction has been there. The left-wing extremism specific areas that peaked in 1936 and 2010, it has reduced to 374 in 2024. There is a 83% reduction in the Naxal incidents. The casualties, if we talk about, the casualties have declined from 1851 to 509, that is 73% decline has been there. The total deaths of civilians and forces have declined from 1005 to 105, yani 85% decline. The government India is committed. They have put a deadline to end the Naxalism. The deadline is 31st March 2026. Now, the government has targeted that by this end, we are going to eliminate Naxalism from our country. We are going to settle out this internal security threat that the country is facing. Now, based upon the discussion, attempt this MCQ and post your answers in the comment box. Now it's time for decoding the editorial. The editorial that we are having today is based upon the topic of AI or artificial intelligence and how it can affect India and what India's approach should be towards AI. Should we adopt it or should we reject it? Let's see. The backdrop here is that the recent headlines highlighting the layoffs attributed to the increasing adoption of artificial intelligence have raised pressing concerns. This topic becomes relevant from GS paper 3 in the economics and science and technology. Also, you can relate it with society part because AI is going to affect the society also. You can relate it with GS2 also in the governance part, that how we should be governing AI. But basically this topic relates more with GS paper 3, that is economics and science and technology. So let's see what are the news here. Now, behind the headlines of the layoff attributed partly to the deployment of artificial intelligence, there is more fundamental question. The fundamental question here is, how will India shape the trajectory of AI in ways that the impact on jobs, productivity and economy is inclusive? The pertinent question that we are asking today, that how India is going to shape the direction of AI in which the jobs, productivity and economy are affected in positive manner, so that the jobs can increase, the economy can increase, the productivity can increase, because every country is now adopting AI, and if we are not going to adopt it, then we are going to left behind. Now, if we see, there are certain reports, for example, ServiceNow Pearson's AI skill research of 2025, it says that the agentic AI could reshape over 10.35 million jobs and create 3 million new tech roles in India by 2030, placing the country ahead of Singapore and Australia in AI transformation. The next is ILO. As the new tasks emerge in AI deployment, jobs are likely to evolve rather than disappear. So both of them are giving a positive outlook for the AI if AI is being directed in a proper manner. Now, one term has come, that is agentic AI. What is this agentic AI? Agentic AI means artificial intelligence system that can operate with a degree of autonomy and decision-making capability, acting as agents that proactively perform tasks, make choice, and interact with their environment or other systems to achieve a specific goal. One we are having is a traditional AI model that only responds to prompts. Agentic AI can plan, reason, adapt, execute actions across the multiple stops. So basically means the agentic AI will be able to think, will be having autonomy in taking decisions. The traditional AI basically depends upon what prompts we are giving, what commands we are giving, and based upon those commands they react. Agentic AI will be able to think, will be able to have some autonomy in taking decisions, and will be able to interact with their environments and other systems. So that is the difference between agentic and the traditional AI. Now, coming back to the topic, the challenges concerning the adoption of AI in India. The structural challenge that we are facing. One structural challenge is the farmers. The farm sector in India is the biggest one. It is the biggest employment provider in the country. Almost more than 45% of Indians are engaged in agriculture, and there is a very slow adoption of AI in agriculture. So that is the problem with AI. So we have a very minimal integration of AI in the farm sector. The other structural problem is the service sector vulnerability, as majority of India's GDP comes from the service sector. Many of the Indians are employed in the service sector. Now, the service attributing 55% of GDP and 31% of employment, the AI-induced disruptions could significantly affect the jobs, particularly in IT, BPOs, and and customer service. Because, for example, BPOs, now we are having the chatbots, we are having the answer bots, which can directly answer in a human-like manner. So this is going to affect the BPOs. Next is slow pace of skilling that India is having. Inadequate reskilling and upskilling mechanism that we are having, especially for informal workers, will hinder the adoption of evolving AI-driven competencies. Then digital divide. Unequal access to digital infrastructure, connectivity, and computing sources across rural, urban, and socio-economic groups limit the widespread AI adoption. The next is other challenges. The high cost of adoption. Small and medium enterprises face prohibitive cost in accessing AI technologies and integrating them into business model. That are the other challenges. So there is a high cost of adoption. Second is regulatory uncertainty is also there, because there is lack of clear framework on data protection, ethics, liability in AI usage, creating hesitation among the businesses. So if they even adopt it, some new law may come out and which can actually affect them in a negative manner. So the regulatory uncertainty, we need to overcome that. Data quality and availability. Our data is fragmented, of poor quality, and biased data sets are there, which are going to reduce the effectiveness of AI models. Then cyber security and misuse risk are there. Concerns of surveillance, job replacement, and potential misuse slows down the trust-based adoption. Then institutional gap is also there. The limited R&D investment, weak industry academia collaboration, and brain drain is going to affect India's ability to load AI innovation. So these are the other challenges that India faces with adoption of AI. These are important from your mains point of view. Next is the question that comes to us is whether AI turn as a disruptor of livelihoods or a driver of inclusive progress, and will hinge on India's policy choices and preparedness. So it will be India's policy, it will be India's direction which is going to decide whether the AI is going to be disruptor or whether AI is going to lead us to a inclusive progress. Even the economist and famous economist and Nobel laureate Daron Acemoglu has said AI's impact is not destiny, but it is a choice. It is rightly said. We need to make situations in a manner so that we can actually utilize AI to enhance our economy, to enhance our growth, to enhance our job security, to enhance the well-being of the people. So there are basically two pathways that we are having. The first pathway is automation. Automation means that we are going to replace the work done by a human by a machine. Second is augmentation. It simply means whatever work a human is doing, that work will be more efficient by utilizing or by integrating machine in that. So there are two mechanisms. One is replace the human, bring in the machine. The second is the human is there, bring in the machine and increase its productivity. So basically in automation, the AI is used to replace the human workers. In automation, the AI is used to complement the human effort. The replacement means that it may boost the efficiency and it will lead to a job risk as well. Whereas augmentation is going to enhance the productivity because humans' productivity is going to increase and it is going to preserve or expand the employment. So the path that we should be taking is towards the augmentation. We should be skilling ourselves so that AI can augment our work. If we are not going to skill ourselves, then the automation is going to happen. So that is the path that we need to avoid, and we need to go for augmentation part in integration of AI in our economy. Now let's see how we can harness it. So basically India must resist the temptation of adopting automation first approach that risks displacing workers on large scale. Instead, the focus should be on using AI as an augmenting force that enhances the productivity, well-being without undermining livelihood. There are basically three pillars on which India need to work. The first is skilling the workers. Workers को skill करो, have them learn AI, let them know how to use AI to make their work better, to improve their work so that they can be more productive, they can be more efficient. Second is reducing inequality among inclusive infrastructure. So we need to create an AI infrastructure which is available for all, so that the divide that we have, that does not affect its integration. The rich may adopt it because there is high cost of integration also of AI also. So we need to make an inclusive infrastructure in which everyone can use AI, one can benefit out of the potential of AI. Then fostering entrepreneurship through innovation support. We need to foster innovation, entrepreneurship. We need to focus upon creating new entrepreneurs so that new jobs can be created. Now, if we talk about the skilling workers, promote large-scale, continuous and demand-driven skilling, and emphasize lifelong learning, embedding digital and AI competencies among schools, universities, ITIs, vocational centers. Also, focus on cognitive problem solving and socio-economic skills that AI cannot replicate. So some skills we need to learn from AI, we need to integrate in our schools, we need to integrate in our colleges, universities, ITIs, vocational centers, so that the new breed of workers that is coming out of our colleges, that is coming out of our academic institutions, is well trained with AI, and they can use it and they can march along with the world. Next thing is that we also need to focus upon those areas which AI cannot match. For example, the socio-economic skills. We also need to focus upon cognitive and problem solving skills of our generations also. So we need to focus upon that. The next is reducing inequality through inclusive infrastructure. We need to develop non-extractive. Non-extractive means it should be it should be priced reasonably. It should not be overpriced. Shared digital infrastructure to ensure equitable access. Treat computing power, storage and database sets as public goods. That means they should be available to all free of cost or at a very minimal cost under a digital public infrastructure model. Promote vernacular AI tools so that it is available to all. The language should not be a barrier for them. Domain specific small language models to bridge the digital divide. So we need to bridge the digital divide. Only then we will be able to integrate AI effectively in our economy. Then fostering entrepreneurship through innovation support. Expand flagship programs like Atal Innovation Mission, Startup India, Future Skills Prime, Youth for Unnati and Vikas with AI. Then increase public investment in incubators, accelerators and mentorship networks, focusing not only on unicorns but also on sustainable employment rich enterprises. So we need to focus upon these three pillars. Then we have some positive examples also. For example, Tata Steel is there, Infosys is there, Siemens is there. They are trying to integrate AI in a manner so that they augment the skills of the workers. These cases highlight that AI can serve as Sarthi rather than a Vinashak. That means it can act as a augmenter, it can act as a complementing agent rather than a replacing agent if guided with right policies and practices. Strengthening academia industry government partnership is another initiative that we need to take. We need to strengthen academia, industry and government partnerships, build synergy between research institutions, industry leaders and government bodies for knowledge sharing and innovation. Encourage collaboration for creating AI-driven solutions in priority sectors like healthcare, education, agriculture and manufacturing. Then ensure open and competitive AI market. ICRIER AI market competition report has highlighted following risks with the AI. For example, infrastructure lock-ins and bundling of the service. Self-preferencing by large firms, that large firms will be preferring that they should be only having the AI, they will not be sharing it with others. Proprietary standards restricting small players. So basically it is going to restrict the access of AI to others. Then we need to ensure contestability of AI ecosystem. We need to guarantee competitive access to cloud and edge computing. Promoting open APIs and interoperable systems. Supporting indigenous AI development and democratizing innovation for MSME and startup. Only when we are going to integrate it with MSME and startup, then only it will be possible for us to ensure that there is job creation through AI. Then empowering MSMEs as engines of growth. We know the significance of MSMEs that it play in India. They are labor intensive. They contribute a lot to our GDP. They contribute a lot to our foreign exports also. Now we need to empower the MSMEs. Provide MSMEs with affordable digital tools, computing access and tailored skilling, because MSMEs are having only limited capital. They are not able to spend much. So we need to provide affordable digital tools, computing access and tailoring skills. With institutional support, MSMEs can leverage AI for employment-rich growth, especially labor-intensive sectors. Now, policy imperative for AI for inclusion. Will inevitably displace some jobs, but real challenge to ensure institutional support, open market and inclusive infrastructure that allows it to generate more opportunities than it replaces. Now, to conclude, we can say that with right policy choices, institutional framework and infrastructure investment, India can steer AI towards becoming a driver of inclusive growth, empowering workers, fostering innovation and ensuring that technology acts as a partner in nation building rather than a disruptor. Now, based upon this discussion, you have to attempt this MCQ. Now, based upon the discussion, you have to attempt this mains question, and you can bring the answer to us, or you can post in the comment box. So, with this, we conclude for the day. Thank you very much.